Hey everyone. Sorry it took me an extra minute. I was having some issues with BB. Hopefully you guys are hopping in here. Let me see if I can see anybody. Hi Miranda. Sorry, I did not realize my watch went dead and I was chasing BB, so I'm sweating a little bit. So sorry about that. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My sincere apologies. I was outdoors chasing BB. So sorry. My watch died. So I was outside and I did not realize. I don't ever not have a watch on, but it's completely dead. So my apologies, everyone. But I'm so excited that we're here tonight. I have missed you guys. Not doing this last week. I was like, oh, something's missing. If you guys are following me, I was with my son. And that's why I love this industry. It allows us to have so many just freedoms that, we don't have. So I was able to go and help him get moved into his new house in Bentonville. But we have an amazing night planned tonight where we are going to talk about what we all love, which is this professional makeup. And Ashlyn, I see you. Hello. You look beautiful as always. Thank you so much for hopping on here and sharing with us. I'm about to spotlight you. If you guys are a guest, if you're a guest of anybody, please be sure to put in the chat bar who you're a guest of, because I really want to give away gifts. Like I've got, like tonight I picked up this. This is such a pretty, one of my favorite reds that they came out with. It's our glosses. It's their 50% pigment. They're like no other. And this right here, everybody needs to be wearing. It's our gorgeous, it's kind of a coral, but these are lip glosses, but they're pigmented. So you actually get color with them. So very excited to be here. Help us get guests here so that we can give things away. But this really is a night for really us to come together and just learn from each other. We're having a little event this weekend. I was talking about, makeup, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have learned so much in the last 3 months doing these beauty on a budgets, like things that from Ashlyn and so many of the other amazing artists that are really everyday women, just like you and me, that have these incredible skills. And when you put those skills with this pro makeup that was once only available to the celebrity makeup artists, we all get to have the look of pro makeup. Celebrity makeup. Someone was just telling me that this foundation, and it's actually RCMA, which is what our brand of foundation that we share. We only have the best top quality lines. We're not just creating a line for LimeLife. These products were already very successful beauty brands being sold out of the Alcone store, which is our parent store in New York City. And there's still a brick and mortar store there. It's still packed out with makeup artists, with pro makeup artists, with celebrity makeup artists, where they go and they get these insane products that were only available to them. So now we get the privilege, we get the honor of not only being able to share them, but for me, it was just finding a brand that I loved for myself. We call these beauty on a budget because truly this product line is so affordable. What I love about the woman who owns the company is she's not doing this to serve herself. The Alcone store does that in New York City. This LimeLife was created to put natural, safe products in the hands of women and to help everyday women feel more confident and more beautiful. And, it's been such an experience. Most of us here have now been here for almost 3 years that it feels like a lifetime, right? Because we love every minute of just representing a brand that is thoughtful, that wants to make sure that, they're putting things out there that are good, that are healthy, that are safe, that are simple, that are pure ingredients. So when you pick up any of our products and you read the ingredients, you actually see there's only a few ingredients. And back in the day, to do preservatives, to do a preservative-free line, you would have had to have refrigerated your products. Isn't that crazy to think about putting skincare in the refrigerator? But that's just how it was done. But now we know how to do that with oils, with food, different food, avocado, different things that allow us to preserve our products without using any harsh chemicals. That is huge, guys. Everything you're putting on your face, like we put like 515, not just your face, we put over 500 chemicals They're surrounding us every single day, from what you wash your hair with, to what you clean your counters with, to what you wash your body, to, you know, the things you wash your clothes with. So sometimes we don't think about that, but what I love about this company is there's a real awareness to the fact that those chemicals go right into the bloodstream within about 30 seconds. It's really quick, and that messes with our thyroids. It messes with our hormones. It causes cancer. We are the first line that I've ever seen that is completely, like, we do not have a paraben in our warehouse, okay? Parabens are those awful things that were preservatives that when they take tissue from women who've had breast cancer, they find those parabens in their tissue. Okay, so it's very serious. Michelle does not take this lightly because her best friend died of a very rare form of breast cancer, and she just asked that she please have a line that's responsible as she was creating LimeLife, thinking she was just going to have one cleansing oil. That was all we were going to have, and we have the most amazing skincare line that, again, it was created before us. It was just never available to the public because this woman did not trust her product with anyone. Baby's still going crazy. I'm so sorry. So we're here to see all the magic that Ashlyn's going to create. Ashlyn, I'm going to go ahead and big screen you. And then if you will just tell us a little bit about you and how you came into LimeLife. And just thank you so much. And I apologize again. Let me see. I thought I made it big. Now, there we go. Let's try one more time. Let's spotlight video. Ashlyn, it's not spotlighting you. Okay, I'm going to unmute. Okay. Ashlyn, is your video on? There you are. Awesome. Can you see yourself on the big? Ashlyn, can you hear me? Okay. Can you unmute?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you, dear, for your patience. My apologies. That's the first time I've ever been late, but thank you. We're so excited to get rolling with this and learn some of your secrets to your beautiful, beautiful makeup. And you have had a great following on Instagram. You have tons of people that follow you. Now you're bringing that brand over to Facebook. You're a photographer. You have an eye for color. You just have an eye for just making things beautiful. So thank you for coming and sharing with us. I'm turning it over to you. Please just take your time and share with us all your amazingness. Thank you.
Okay, so I wish I would have showed you guys the look I had on before I just took it off. It was like a neon to match this. I think you guys would have enjoyed that, but we will do an amazing makeup look today. So the first step I always do is I prime my skin. If I'm leaving the house, I would use our sunscreen because it has a makeup primer in it. And it's also a face moisturizer. But because I already left the house and came back, I'm going to be using our first base makeup primer. This will ensure that my makeup stays put all day. Doesn't sink into my pores and looks amazing. Okay. And so I don't know about some of you women, but I start off my makeup look with my eyebrows because I feel like that sets the tone for my makeup. If my eyebrows are off, I feel like my entire makeup look is off. So the first thing I do is take a spoolie. This is the end of an old makeup pencil. And I would brush through my brows just to kind of get them going in the right direction. You guys can type on the screen because I actually flipped through the screens the whole time to see everybody, and I answer your questions as we go. I'm very interactive, so you don't have to wait till the end to ask me something. I got you as we go. Okay, so brush through my brows, have them in the right place. Now, before this year, I was always a pomade or eyebrow pencil kind of girl, but since this year rolled in, I've been using eyeshadow as my eyebrows, and it has been a lifesaver, a game changer, and something that I actually really like. And so I've been using this shade here. This one is called Uncorkable, is number 32. I feel like it's the perfect color, tone, undertone for my skin tone. So I'm going to use that today to fill in my eyebrows. And I just use an angled eyebrow brush. I always blow off the excess so it doesn't, get clumpy. And then I just start underneath my brows, just start filling them in. Just the underline. I can get a little closer too so you guys can see. Just the underline of the brow. And then I would just take the product and flick it upwards, and that fills in the middle part. I do this first so I don't use too much product in the beginning, and then I can just fill in the spots as I go. My eyebrows are pretty wild right now, and that's a good thing because naturally they're very thin. So this is about a year and a half of not getting them done at all. And they're finally looking like normal human brows, so that's good. And then I always take my spoolie and I brush the very beginning of my brow because I like it to be an ombre, not like a Sharpie. I like it to go from light to dark, and that helps look more natural, especially if I'm just wearing like eyebrows, mascara, and lip gloss. That always makes it look like it's my own brows, so I like that. Okay, let's do the other one. And let's brush through that. Same way. Underneath the brow, flick whatever's left on the brush, and also that line upward to fill in the rest of the brow. And then I would fill in the top. I usually only have to dip into my eyebrow or my eyeshadow one time for each brow because all of our makeup products, skincare, everything, it's very pigmented or a little bit goes a long way. And so I've had that particular eyeshadow now, I think this month makes almost a year. And I'm just now seeing the bottom. And it's a color that I use every single day. It was the color I use on my eyeshadow, but it's now become just my eyebrow color and I really like it. Okay, hopefully I don't go too fast for you guys because I actually don't take that long to do my makeup. On a good day, I can do a full face with crazy colors in probably 35 minutes. And then on a good day when I just want something natural, I would just 15-20 minutes. So I don't take that long, even though it probably looks like it. So then you want to brush through your brows lightly to make sure that everything is good and going. Thank you. Thank you, Blair. Now my next step I like to do is clean up my eyebrows or make sure, in other words, make sure the shape looks really good. Thank you, Cynthia. I've come a long way. I used to work as a wedding coordinator. I did that for 5 years, and so I had to have a full face of makeup early in the morning, and I just learned to apply it quickly and go, lashes and all. So I think that really helped. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another angle brush. This one is another eyebrow brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer. I'm using our concealer. This one is in the shade number 3. This is what I use to highlight. So I'm gonna put that on the brush, and I'm just gonna go right underneath my brow and just start outlining it. Clean up whatever mistake I've made, make sure my brows are the perfect shape. Yes, practice definitely makes perfect.
This thing that you're doing right here with the concealer was such a cool trick to learn for when your brows aren't perfect, right? Like when you have all the things kind of that make your brows just look real messy. This is so easy to do and perfects them. It just makes you look like you had your brows waxed.
Exactly. It's been a long time for me. Okay. So now, first I put the product on and then I actually blend it out, meaning I drag the product down so there's no harsh lines. And I also bring the product down so it's easy to blend. It's too close to my eyebrows when I go in with my beauty sponge. It tends to get all up in there and kind of mess up the shape. But if I bring it down, it's easy for me to blend. I have a clean, very makeup. So I'm just going to just blend that down just like that. Just get rid of the lines. And let's do the other brow now. I don't do on top of my brows, at least not with the concealer, because for me, I don't know if you guys heard of halo brows. It makes your eyebrows stand out like they're floating. So I don't do concealer on the top. If I need to shape up the top, then I would go in with my foundation. And then I would use an angle brush and clean it up because that prevents it from looking like a halo brow. So that's a little trick I learned recently that I like. I take my time. and do this because, like I mentioned, this sets the tone for everything for me. If I feel like my eyebrows are off, everything else is off for me. Thank you, Cynthia.
I love that it's like you're putting a highlighter on too, right? So it's like a highlighter color for right up
Yes.
into your brow. Looks really pretty.
Thank you.
What number is that?
Number 3.
Okay.
Okay. I actually do my eyeshadow before my foundation. So that's what I'm going to do next because this is it. My brows, they're officially done. So I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow. And I actually like to put concealer on my eyelids. It cancels out the color of my eyelids and it also primes my eyes for eyeshadow. That makes the colors more vibrant and it keeps it in place. So I love that. So same thing, concealer number 3. I'm going to go in with a flat brush. This is the one that I use here. Actually, I can use my finger too. Rub it in there because our concealer is also wax-based. So if you rub it in, it warms it up. It helps the product to blend more. And then I just literally put that on my eyelids to prime it for eyeshadow. Now today, I'm going to show you guys how to use one eyeshadow but make it look like you're using more than one, if that makes sense. That's my little trick to making it look like an ombre of a similar color, but it's actually just one. And it's something that I love doing. I don't use a lot of oranges and reds and stuff like that, so I don't purchase a lot of those. So I try to use one eyeshadow to make it look like I have 3 different variations of the same color, if that makes sense. And so that's what I'm going to show you guys today. So now that my concealer is on, I'm just going to pounce my damp sponge over just to blend it, make sure everything's looking good. And then we can jump right into using our eyeshadow. Now the eyeshadow that I'm going to use today, it's called Centerfold. It's like this coral orange color. It's really pretty. It's actually my newest shade. It's definitely something that, like you can see, I love bright colors. But I love wearing colors in the summer, so I wanted something that's going to make me stand out. I used to be a brown eyeshadow nude girl all the time, like just warm tones. And then this year, something just snapped and I wear neons and turquoise and all these crazy colors now, and I absolutely love it. So in order to achieve this multi-dimensional color with one eyeshadow, I need 3 different makeup brushes. So that's how I do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a fluffy blending brush. I'm going to put that same color in my transition or in my crease. And a blending brush usually causes the color to be more transparent instead of opaque. So when you're putting it in your crease with a blending brush, it's not going to be as pigmented as if you use a flat brush or more dense brush. So that's how I make the colors look different. So I'm going to go in now with a fluffy blending brush, and then I'm just going to swirl that color back and forth in my crease. And it's a really, really, really beautiful color. You guys are so quiet. I can see y'all just looking at me. If you have any questions, make sure you pop it on the screen, or you just want to say hi. I am here for the chats.
I remember when these colors were first introduced to me, especially that centerfold. And then I saw all the girls that are like the makeup artists using that as their transition color. And it is just an incredible, incredible pigmented crease color. How many colors are you about to use?
1.
I love it. That's awesome. So you're using your concealer as your base and your highlighter, and then centerfold, right?
Right.
Okay. Love it.
But I'm going to be using 3 different makeup brushes to make centerfold look lighter and darker in different areas. So it's going to look like I have on more than one eyeshadow.
Very cool.
Oh, thank you, Janet. Yeah, so I take my time and I build up that color. So I'd probably go over it about 2-3 times.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys ever cut your crease. That means like you put concealer down, like a thick base of it, and then you pack on the pigment on top. I can show you how to do that too. I do that a lot with my neon I took today. I did that today. So let me show you. I used Electric Avenue today. That was this one to match my outfit. And I did a cut crease with that. It was really, really pretty, and I really liked it. I actually got stopped. I was in Target. And this girl was like, "You look like a social media influencer." I'm like,
"Oh, yay."
thank you.
Show that palette again. Is that your palette of colors? Let me see that. Because I can remember okay, Ashlyn, I can remember when you only had a few colors. You've come a long way.
Oh yes. I think I had maybe 4 shades in January, and now something happened.
Look at you. Love it. And you were wearing browns and neutrals, and I love it. That's the cool part. When you get to use these professional products, you get to experience a whole new level of makeup, right? Because it's blendable, it wears all day, it's pigmented. So that's what pro makeup is. What would you say pro makeup is? Like, what makes it different for you?
For me, it's quality. I've used a lot of different brands, and they might be expensive, but I always had issues with like eyeshadows creasing in here and separating. Especially I used to wear makeup for like 16 hours a day when I did like weddings all day as a photographer. And so I find that these actually stay on all day to the point where I don't want to take my makeup off at night. It like annoys me that I have to like wipe it off. It's like art. It's like art, especially after I use all these colors.
Right? And you're just using one. That's crazy.
Just using one today, just to show you how to to use it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to a different brush. This one is like, it's flat and it's more dense. I like to use this one to like pack on the pigment and show the color better. And so I'm gonna dip this brush into centerfold again, the same color. And I'm going to just pack that pigment on, because now you can really start to see how orange that really is.
And I love,
look up the difference between the,
oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I just love that color will be beautiful on your cheeks. It will be beautiful on your lips. I mean, you can do so, that's almost a really fun, cool bronzing color, you know? I mean, you can just, and just look at your 2 eyes, how different they look. Wow, that's incredible. Incredible.
Thank you.
I would have never thought to just use one color, but you're right. These colors, the way they layer, you can get so much more depth and intensity. And I didn't know how. I was using my finger, but I think I'll go get a more dense brush.
Oh, yes. Brushes, I've learned that they're the tool you need sometimes to elevate your makeup game. And I feel like I learned that within the last year. This month actually makes 1 year I've been with LimeLife, and I've learned a lot about makeup in that short period of time. Like I watched enough YouTube videos to like sit down and like feel like I'm a pro, and I'm not. But actually sitting here doing it, I do makeup lives almost every single day on Facebook. And I feel like every day I challenge myself, or every week I challenge myself to like learn something different, learn something new. And I feel like I definitely do that just playing with makeup.
Wow.
Even if it's just colors that I hate blue with a passion. And look, I own 2 and I love them. And I'm like, okay, I just had to go out of my comfort zone.
Wow. That's incredible.
So this is the difference.
Wow.
Between the 2 brushes.
That's so cool.
Okay. And now I'm going to take a little bit of concealer and I'm going to cut my crease. So I'll use it here, same. And then I use this is what it looks like. So it's a very flat, dense brush. It's basically a concealer brush, but it's very small. And I just take a little bit of that concealer and I put that on the inner corners of my eyes. I'm only going to do the very front right here. Cynthia, in December, we were doing challenges all the time. And that's the one thing I couldn't do. I couldn't do a cut crease. And I challenged myself to get on live, like don't practice and just do it. And that was the most nerve-wracking Facebook Live I've ever done. And I'm not a person that gets nervous. I love people and I love talking to people. But it's the difference between like not knowing what you're doing and having some idea of what to do. And let me tell you, I told some of my friends what I was doing, and if it wasn't for them, they came online, they just coached me, like, just take your time, focus on like cutting up the shape, and then you'll be good. If my friend didn't tell me that, I don't know how that look would have gone or how that experience would have been, but I ended up having a lot of fun. And that was like the one thing I've learned. You just don't take makeup seriously, just to have fun with it. Because if you just have fun doing it, then you learn to love it. Even if you're not a makeup wearer, you just learn to have fun wearing it and you don't take it seriously. So I
That's
just
such a good point that you just made. Makeup is not a tattoo, and you can always start over, right? If you don't like
yes.
what you did, get out a wipe and start over. It's you know, it's not life altering. And so what are you doing in there? What you're doing, concealer?
Yes, I'm doing a concealer.
I love it. And that's part of your eyeshadow look, right? Just to kind of brighten and highlight the inner corners. That is actually the darkest part of your whole face. Did you know that? Those inner corners are where more shadows are than, and it's on every woman. That's where we're dark. So that's what you got to do. You got to brighten it up. And women won't do that. And it will brighten up everything. The whites of your eyes are now brighter, and it just lifts your whole face. It's beautiful.
I did not know that. I know that now.
I love that you're a student and you're always learning and you're always challenging yourself. I think people think that, you know, we know everything there is to know, but we're just learning as we go. But we have these high quality, like highly effective products that work so well. They're blendable. They're easy to use. So they make us feel confident in ourselves, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I have another flat brush. This other one had like a very straight top. This one has a more rounded top. This helps me get all in the corners of my eyes really well with eyeshadow. So this is a clean brush. I'm going to go right in with centerfold again. Because when you cut your crease and you put your color on top, it really amplifies that pigment and it makes it stand out more.
People
and
are going
even
to
though
save
it's
a
the
lot
same
of,
color,
they're going to save a
it doesn't
lot of
look
money
like
with
the same
this.
color.
Oopsie. I think I was muted. Nope. They're going to save a lot of money with this because literally you could get centerfold, which costs all of what, $14, and you could like use it for so many different things to create this gorgeous look, especially for summertime. Like this is to me like this pretty sun-kissed look, you know, like it really does look fun and summery. I'm going for it. Trust me. I'm going to try this tomorrow.
I love to see that. I think it's going to be pretty on you.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now, you don't have to go all the way in the center of your eyes if you don't, because if you look, I haven't put any eyeshadow here yet. Concealer is always going to be, it should always be lighter than your eye look. So if you want the inner corners of your eyes to be lighter than the rest of your eye look, then don't put any shadow there. I usually go in with some type of shimmer. So my favorite ones to put in like a pop of color in the center of my eyes is usually rose-colored glasses. It's like a rosy pink. Or if I'm wearing like a really bright eye look, I'd go in with Gilded Lily, which is like a lavender. I love to use like shimmer as a pop. So I like to, those are my two that I gravitate toward because I feel like no matter what eye look I go with, it always seems to complement it. So I will do that today just to show you because I think that an inner corner highlight is what helps me put that cherry on top of my makeup look. Okay, so I'm not done with my eyes yet because after I put on my foundation and concealer, I'm going to go underneath the bottom. So it looks a little top heavy, but I will even that out in just a moment. Okay.
For a dramatic girl, it looks perfect. I love color. Love it.
Thank you. I'm just going right back in with that blending brush. I'm not adding any more product. I like to make sure that everything is blended and it looks seamless, natural, no harsh lines. I want it to look very put together. And I feel like when I learned how to blend is when I realized like I have what it takes to really do creative looks, but to make it look professional is learning how to blend it. That's what I've learned, at least.
I think we hear that more than anything from the pro artists, like blending is your cardio. Like you can't blend too much. And I'm not patient. And I know it would increase my look if I would do what you're doing. So thank you for the reminder. What would you consider your eye shape? Because you have a unique eye shape. What would you call? Would you call them hooded? Would you call them?
Since I had my daughter, I have hooded eyes right here. That's happened within the last year. So I would say yes.
Yeah, yeah. Which is you know, I love that you're creating the dimension, but it's not like you don't have to use a dark color. You're just working with one color, and it's like I'm watching the sunset on your eyes because it's kind of three-dimensional, and it's incredible. And I've never seen one shadow done like this. So kudos to you.
Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my foundation. I'm just going to take the same beauty sponge and I'm going to apply it. I actually prefer to have my sponge to be 100% dry because it gives me a full coverage. When my sponge is damp, it gives me a medium coverage. So for me, if I'm going for a full face, a full bead, I would do full coverage because I think it complements it well. I just washed my sponge for the purpose of not looking like this during my video. So I'll be using this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go right in and just start. I like dry around because one helps me. This lasts me about 3 months if I use it every single day. Longer if I, skip days. And so I like to dry the product around, not only to save and keep dipping, but I don't need to dip. And with this really space, I feel like I can literally just glide it around on my skin. It blends so well. And then I pound it to, like random streak marks from, user error. I'm definitely gonna have to take pictures. Whenever I put on a full face of makeup, I always have to take a picture. So
yes,
this gives me a reason to take selfies.
Send me the after picture for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Unless you did it before, I'll take
if you don't
both,
have,
but this is, yeah.
Well, when I take it off, I can give you a before and after.
So pretty.
Like,
what foundations have you used before, Ashlyn? I don't know why this is pausing on
me. It's very unique because my birthmark covers like my body, but it does blend to. Hopefully you guys can see me. I got kicked off, but I'm back.
Where are you? There you are.
Yes, I'm back.
You're back. That was fast. Let me spotlight you again. There we go.
Thank you. Now, next I'm going to go in with my concealer to highlight. I don't conceal, even though you can see that I have dark marks because I have a child. I don't use a concealer to cancel all the darkness. I just use a concealer to highlight because it's so pigmented and the coverage is so beautiful. I don't need two concealers to do that, but that's me personally. So I'm just going to go right in with concealer 3 to highlight, and it does cover that little area. So I'm going to use that same flat concealer brush. I use this to apply my concealer more precisely, especially underneath my eyes. I don't put the product too close to the under eyes because as I blend, it will blend upward, and I don't want to start too close because I am one of those people, I will get everything in my eyes on accident. So I leave a little room for blending. So I go underneath my eyes, I do the bridge of my nose and a little bit of my forehead. In the past, I used to do my Cupid's bow and my chin, but with my skin tone and my hair and doing that, I look like a lion. So people used to call me Mufasa. So I've learned to not do the lips and the chin, just under the eyes and the nose. Okay. I already have like a small button nose, so I don't have to contour my nose, but I feel like it does bring the look together if I do add highlight contour to my nose, so that's why I do it. So I'm going to go right in with my sponge again. I'm going to use the top part, and I'm going to just start blending out that concealer. You definitely want to pounce up and down. You don't want to like dry or smear the product because you want the coverage to stay there. You don't want to blend out your coverage. And the good thing about our concealer and our foundation, it's very buildable. So this looks more like a natural coverage for me. If I want to look like, we call it Instagram baddie, where it's like extra bright under eyes, extra dark contour. It just helps the look come together. Our products are blendable where I can put a second layer on it and it won't look cakey. That's the one thing I can say about LimeLife's products. They do not look cakey. And that's from someone who used to have an issue with everything looking cakey or powdery. It's really nice that I can use these products and I don't have to worry about that. As
What
a photographer,
foundation
I
did you
take a
use
lot of pictures of
before?
clients, but also I use Maybelline Fit Me, and I loved it, but it oxidizes, and it always made me look orange after I left
Yep.
the house.
And you're Shinto 3, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Perfect.
Okay, so now that my concealer is blended, I like it to look more natural, so you can't really see it, but it's there. That's my preference. If you want it to be, like I said, a bit better coverage, then you just add another layer, or you use like a dense brush instead of a sponge, and that would really help. But I'm going to go and I'm going to set my concealer. I'm going to be using our HD powder, our translucent powder. It looks white, but trust me, test and proven, professional camera and lighting, no flashbacks. And I love that. I love that I can just put this on with no worries. I like to go right in with my sponge. I just like to just start dabbing that into my skin. And I use a little bit of pressure that helps actually melt it into my skin and really sets my concealer. I don't bake. Baking is when you leave the powder on for about 2 to 5 minutes. That is what oily girls do to help control their oils throughout the day. I personally have normal to dry skin, so I don't have to bake. So that's why I push the product into my skin to melt the powder. Or what you can do at the end is you can use some setting spray, and that melts the powder into the skin, and it makes everything look like skin and not powder. So that is my trick, but I douse myself like a mist on the beach. Okay, so now that my concealer with our HD powder, I like to go back and finish my eyes. So I can either pick up one of the brushes that I've already used, like this flat one. The blending brush is a little too wide, and this is a little too wide, so I usually would use this, or I would use, it's an angled, there it goes. It's an ankle brush like this. If you're not someone that is good with wings, like wing liners, you need to get a brush like this. And here's why I say that. You can dip this in a black eyeshadow, and because the point's already there, you can literally drag it down like this, and you already have a wing. You don't have to worry about anything. You can even go over it with like a liquid liner, but this is the perfect way for beginners to know how to do a wing line. So this is secret weapon, but I'm not using it as a wing. I'm actually using it just to get up underneath close of my eyes and add some eyeshadow. So I'm going to dip that back into that same color we've been using tonight, centerfold. And I'm just going to just start dragging that product underneath my eyes. When I first started doing this step, I'm like, I look crazy. I look like I'm supposed to be a superhero. You know how like Robin wears a mask? I look like that, and I'm like, what am I doing? But the trick to making it look balanced is putting mascara on your bottom lashes. When I tell you you're going to look so good, please try it. So I'm just going to go in with that eyeshadow. Just a little bit. I don't have to bring it down low, just enough for you to see it underneath my eyes.
So pretty.
Thank you.
And that powder just blurred your whole look. I mean, it just made everything soft and come together. It's just mind-blowing. That HD stands for high def. And I had never used anything like that. I didn't even know it existed. I'd never seen a white powder. And it was the only powder we had when we joined. I'm like, what is this? And now I can't live without it. I can't even. I never really go to the colored powders, although I love them, because this right here, you don't even know it's on. No color whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely. And I've been a victim of a powder saying it's HD, and you go out, you have fun with your friends, you take a selfie, and you just look at it later on in the night, and it looks like you're glowing because the flashback from the powder. And I can tell you, no flashback. Your skin looks amazing.
Wow.
And just a trick from photographer to client: the more makeup you wear in photos, the better your skin looks. So.
So do you go a little bit darker with your foundation if you know you're taking pictures, or what? How do you change your foundation at all for photography, for lighting?
No, ma'am. I'm the type, I like my skin tone to be my skin tone.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And so, yeah.
I didn't know if bright lights would lighten it up a little bit. So that's good. I mean, whenever I've done brides, I've done their true color, but I know some people say you want to go a little bit darker, but I just, no, it looks way more like who they are, like you said. They want to look natural.
It depends on lighting, and it depends on how the photographer edits the photos. All of that plays into skin tone. But for me, I meant in the sense that if you wear more product, your skin looks more blurred and HD versus having a lot of pores showing, a lot of imperfections in your skin. If you wear a full coverage makeup and more makeup, your skin looks more flawless and airbrushing the photos naturally than versus having to edit your photos to look like that, if that makes sense.
Yes, got it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to bronzing my face. I like to use this. This is actually a foundation kabuki brush. I don't use it for that. I use this for bronzer. So I'm going to use this. I'm bronzer 4. That is the perfect shade and undertone for my skin. Now, don't judge me. I dropped my palette and I tried to fix it, and I did fix it, but it just looks like mountains. Yeah, it dried, textured, but it works. Yeah, so I'm going to dip into bronzer number 4. And I'm just going to start. I actually stuck in my cheeks like this. And that tells me where to put it to make my skin look, my face look more chiseled and defined. So then I just start bronzing. I actually use a little bit of product, and I'd rather, I don't know how do I explain it, but I use a little bit of bronzer, and it just ends up being a lot because it's so pigmented. And so I ended up having to like blend it out. But I do my jawline. I do that. You can see it naturally happening when I suck my cheeks in. Beautiful. And that helps, makes my face look more slim. Let's be real. After I had my daughter, I went from 105 pounds to 142. And so, yeah, I have a mommy face and a mommy chin. Aww. And I like to look snatched. So I just,
Yeah, heck yeah. Chisel it up.
Exactly.
Well, I love say that you needed that weight, my friend, because you look gorgeous.
Thank
you.
So
yay for babies.
Yes, she's a blessing. Okay, and then go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say that I love, because you're kind of showing us it's buildable, and sometimes people go too dark, and instead of going too dark, start light and layer it, because this is what the pigments do that are 50% pigmented. It's easy to layer them, and you can blend them, but I think it looks way more natural what you're doing.
Yes, and I was that person, like I would dip 2-3 times and I'd go right in and like, whoa, what did I just do? But I learned to I know you heard me doing it, if you didn't see me, I tap off the excess product and then I go in. And then I try to use that one dip on both cheeks, because that helps balance out the powder, so I'm not using too much. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm not going to dip it again. I'm actually going to use the contour on my nose. So if you feel like your brush is too big, you can just literally pinch it, and then that would help with the shape. So I literally just use a little bit. My nose is already tiny, so I just use a little bit to just define it just a little more. I don't know if you can see the difference between the two. Just a little bit. And
can everybody contour their nose, or do you have to have a certain type nose to contour? Can everybody do a little contour?
Everyone can contour their nose. If someone feels that their nose is too small, they can use the reverse effect. So they can highlight their face like concealer to make it look wider, because there are days when that happens to me. If I forget to contour and I just put, the concealer, my nose looks wider. And so to balance that out, I have to remember to go back in and use my bronzer to define my nose. And then whatever's left, I go underneath my bottom lip. I do have full lips, but they're small. So I use whatever's left and I put it right underneath because that creates a shadow and it makes my bottom look more full and pouty. And then I actually go back in and dip. And then I would, because I have a Rihanna forehead, and then I would go in and I would just bring that down a level. So I do circles and I buff it in.
What if you have a short forehead?
You don't have to contour, like bronze at all. You can just focus on cheeks, jawline.
Got it.
Okay, so that is the end of my bronzing. Now, I do highlight, but I use a bronzer. So I actually use bronzer number 1 because for my skin tone, it's too light for a bronzer, but it's perfect for a highlight. And I'm talking about like you're in the sun and you're shimmering, you're glowing, kind of like what sometimes a sunless tan does when you're trying to look a certain way. That's what works for me. So this is bronzer number 1. And I would go in
idea because it's too light for me too. I also use number 4. So that's a great idea to highlight with it. Okay. Because number 1 was the only bronzer we had for years too. We didn't have other bronzers. When we all joined 3 years ago, that was our only bronzer. And so I had to do shadows because I couldn't get any really depth. Pretty.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't know how to use it at first because I got the birthday cake collection. It came with the blush bronzer duo. So at first I wasn't using it. And then one day I'm like, let me just, and yeah, it worked out.
Experimenting.
Absolutely. Just having fun. And that's what helps me like figure like how can I use things I normally wouldn't use. Like these 2 blushes, they are so so pigmented and so beautiful. On the rare occasion, when am I going to use this as a blush? So I use these as eyeshadows and I love it. Or I put it on my lips as lipstick and I'll put a clear gloss on top to seal it in. And it literally lasts me all day as a lipstick. Wow. So these are perfect. So yeah, I'm just going to go in on the very top of where I put my bronzer. I do it on the bridge of my nose. I do it on my Cupid's bow. That helps my top lip look more full and defined. Now you can actually see it like come out to play. And then I actually use this as a eyebrow bone highlight. So I'd go right in and I would use it right up here. Wherever the sun catches is where I put it.
Girl, you are multitasking.
Always.
Getting your money's worth.
Oh yeah. Especially when I was working at the chapel, a wedding chapel, and doing the weddings. I didn't make a lot of money. So I had to learn how to buy one thing and make it work as a bronzer, an eyeshadow, eyebrows. And so when I started getting all this makeup, paying for it and earning it, I still do the same thing. I still find a way to use it in more than one way.
I love it.
Okay, so now we're actually going to go back to centerfold and we're going to use it as a blush.
Cool.
I think it is such a beautiful color as a blush, and I actually wear it quite often. It's between this one and peachy. Those two on like warmer skin tones are beautiful. Any skin tone, but I really like it. So you can do one of 2 things. You can go in with a blush brush or you can go in with your makeup sponge. So for me, sometimes the brush is so dense, I feel like it adds too much at one time, just because I'm heavy-handed. So sometimes I'd go in with my sponge and just start pouncing it in that spot. I'm going to use the brush today in hopes that I don't overdo it. Okay, so I'm going to dip that right into the eyeshadow. If you feel like it's too much, you can just like brush it on the back of your hand, get a little bit of the pigment off, and then you can just place it on the apples of your cheeks. And that prevents you from using too much. I have a small face until I smile. And then my face just, so I like to use a lot of blush because once I do smile, my cheeks really like come out there.
Totally. So cute. So pretty.
Thank you.
I mean, your face looks like you are like photo touched already. You have this blur look about you that is just so flawless. It's like no filter makeup, you know, like this is just incredible to watch.
I take a lot of selfies for Instagram with my professional camera, and since I've been using LimeLife's makeup, I don't have, because I used to go in and retouch my skin, like fully retouch my skin. Now I don't have to do that, and that's me being transparent and truthful. If I have like maybe a blemish like this right here, and it sticks out, I'll remove that, but all the other imperfections I used to be able to see in my skin with other makeup brands, I don't see it. So for me, it's like, I find pleasure in saving time.
Amen. That is gorgeous.
Thank you. So now what I like to do is, before I apply mascara or anything like that, I usually wear falsies. I'm not going to be wearing, falsies today because I'm going to bed. This is falsies in a tube. And that is coming from, you cannot see my eyelashes at all because they don't exist. But after I put this on, it looks like I'm wearing natural falsies. And that is something I wasn't used to, because I've never had lashes, like natural lashes. So I always wore like professional natural wispies to work. And so when I got this, and I realized I don't have to wear lashes unless I want them, you know, be extra. This was the most amazing thing ever. So I cannot wait to put this on. So I'm just going to go in with Time Setter. This is the makeup setting spray that I personally use. This keeps my makeup in place. It says up to 16 hours, and that's very true, because if I'm leaving the house, I'm working in 110-degree weather here in Vegas. I'm in the sun all day taking pictures. That's my job. And by the end of my workday, my makeup still looks really good, to the point where my brides ask me, "What makeup are you wearing? Because your makeup looks better than mine." And I'm like, "LimeLife."
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, so I like to get a little piece of paper because I like to fan it. So I'm going to spray my face a lot. And I like to fan it dry, because I feel
That's
like
got
it makes
vitamins in it too. You said you were a little bit on the dry side. I love it because it moisturizes and hydrates. There's B vitamins in there. So it does so many different things. Another multitasking product. It's almost like a herbal hydrating mist, and it smells amazing, right?
Yes, I love it a lot. And this is coming from someone that wore the Urban Decay all-nighter spray. That was literally the only brand of setting spray that I used. So to find out that Scandinavia makes theirs and ours, that was like a no-brainer switch for me.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm gonna curl my lashes, put on some mascara, and then we'll do our lips, and we're good to go. So because I don't have lashes, my baby lashes actually stick straight out. I don't know if you can see that. So I used a lash curler, and I just curl them upward. Thank you, Annabelle. I just curl them upward. So when I do add the mascara on top, instead of my eyelashes being like this, they're like that. And that's what makes you be able to see them a lot better. And I go right in with our mascara. So this one has the fibers and the mascara in one tube versus like a two-step process. So they will lengthen my lashes. I like to start off at the very tips of my lashes first. Let me get a little closer. Hopefully you guys can only see forehead, but
I didn't believe in this mascara. I thought there's no way this mascara is a fiber lengthening, you know, buildable mascara. And wow, I mean, just look at what that is doing to your little baby lashes. And it's got Kendi oil in it. Did you know it's got Kendi oil? So it's actually, it's got goodness in it that's going to help those grow and thicken and be healthier. I was paying $50 for my mascara. I was a real mascara snob. Like I played in every mascara because my prior company, I couldn't use ours. So when I saw this one was like, what, $22? I was like, this isn't going to work. There's no way this is going to work. And I'll never forget the first time I used it. It, like you said, I looked like I had false lashes on. I was like, what is this? But I thought it was something bad. I'm like, what am I putting on my eyes? But when I read everything, I was like, wow, it is actually doing good things for my eyes. So many mascaras, because they get so close to your eyes, you know, they burn, right? If you're outside in the heat, you're going to get that in your eye. And this literally just, like you said, it makes you look like you've got on falsies. It's crazy.
Yes, I absolutely love it. I don't know if it's just me being left-handed, but I always get mascara everywhere. So
Whoopsie.
I'll show you how to get rid of that without having to take your makeup off. But I got to let it dry first. So I like to start at the tips of my lashes, like the very end, because I like to lengthen them first. And then when I've kind of got what I'm looking for, I would go through the base and thicken them up. So I'd lengthen first and then thicken them up.
It's a shimmy, right? Like you got to kind of shimmy it in between your lashes when you start, because it's building actually your lashes up. It's the most crazy cool thing. It's like magical. That and the white powder was like, what have I discovered? And where's this been all 50 years of my life? That looks great.
Thank you.
And I actually bend my wand, and it's crazy how much closer I can get and how much thicker I can get them. So there's some tips that you can do with that little wand that really do, like, oh my gosh, just make your eyelashes look like you've got falsies. That looks great. Wow.
Thank you. That just shows you, like, I am an ordinary, normal girl, and I make mistakes every time I do my makeup.
And when the light hits your makeup, you're glowing. That bronzer is so pretty. I can't wait to try that. That looks amazing. I literally took it out and I don't use it anymore, but now I know what I'm going to do with it. So thank you. I love that tip.
I don't know if you can see, but now that I put on bottom lash mascara, it evens out. You can see the difference. It evens out the dramatic eye and it makes it look more normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put eyeliner in my waterline. I have very tiny eyes. But when I do that, my eyes look even more, like even smaller. And so I would either put a nude eyeliner in there or just bottom lash mascara. And that is enough to define my eyes, but I don't have to do it.
Pretty. So are you letting it dry between coats?
I don't do coats. I just do one.
Okay. All right. Got it.
I just do one.
That's amazing.
If I had a more dramatic eye look, like I went in with neon and I went in with Harris, which is like a dark emerald color, and I went in with the other one that's more turquoisey, and I have all of those colors going on, I would do 2 coats to make it look more dramatic.
Yeah, bold.
Than natural.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, so that's just me. Okay, and then.
So you let it dry before you rub it, right?
Yes, I let it dry and then I rub it off. Yeah, so that's my tip.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
If you have a Q-tip, I can just take a Q-tip and it's gone. You don't have to put anything on it.
That's also what I was saying. I usually have the Q-tip and I just, but I don't have one, so I tried to use my sponge for the first time on camera and
it worked. It worked perfect.
Yeah. So lip liner is optional. You can just go right in with your lip color if you want. Personally, I like to use a lip liner on just the top and the very bottom of my lips because that helps keep the fullness intact. And plus, I don't color outside the lines if there's a defined line. So I'm using 01 Dark Nude. This is our lip liner. This is my everyday color, and I love this. I use it with almost every single color that I own, and I think it works well, especially if I don't want it to be like a darker lip liner. I just want it to be really close to my natural lip color. I'd use this. So I'm just going to do the very peaks of my lips, the very top, and the very bottom, and that's it. Otherwise, I literally have lip gloss up here because somehow I always miss my lip.
Full, beautiful lips.
Yes, thank you. And then I don't do the very line on my lip. I go slightly underneath because that's what creates a very full bottom lip. So I overline just the bottom and then I connect it normally on the side. And now my bottom lip looks a lot more full and a lot bigger. It's lip injections without the lip injections. Okay. So that's it, just a little something. I'm not fully lining my lips. And then the color I've been waiting to try on camera with everyone because I only use this in the promotional photo. I actually never use it on camera, so I'm excited to use this on camera. So this is our lip gloss in the shade Happy. And it is beautiful. It's like a corally red orange. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go right in. I like to do my bottom lip and just transfer to the top.
It's perfect with that eyeshadow. It's so pretty.
Yes.
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 And give us a rundown real quickly. What skincare? Are you real simple with your skincare because your skin is just gorgeous? And have you seen improvements? What do you love to use every day?
Okay, so huge improvements. I'm gonna be 30 in a few months, and I didn't have an issue with my skin at all until I had my daughter, and so I started around 28, 29. I started getting premature wrinkles in my forehead because I'm very dramatic with my facial expressions, and so I started getting premature wrinkles on my forehead and around my eyes, and I had really dark raccoon eyes all the way under here. And I started with just face wash and face moisturizer, and that helped even out my skin tone and get rid of a few acne. But then I upgraded that, and I started using an anti-aging serum. And so I started with Sotox, which is our Botox in a bottle. And then in conjunction with that, I would use One Drop Wonder. So that would boost all of the benefits of all my skincare, and all my premature wrinkles are gone. So if I was mistaken for 16 before, I'm definitely mistaken for 16 years old now, especially with no makeup on. So yes, my skin has drastically changed. I mentioned that my chest has a lot of different colors. My face also had a lot of different colors going on. And now it's almost all the way evened out. I just have a little bit under here. And I don't think that's under eye bags or anything. I definitely think that has to do with like my skin tone and my the pigments in my skin. I actually have I don't know how to explain it, but a skin condition where the pigments in my skin permanently change color in the sunlight. So this started off as one dot, and now it's 90% of my body. And so it's traveling all over. So that I think would be permanent, but it doesn't bother me. I look fine. So yes, I went from just face wash and moisturizer. In the morning, I use face cleanser, face moisturizer, and an oil due date. And then at night, I was using face cleanser, face moisturizer, Sotox, and One Drop Wonder. But now at night, I'm using the Midnight Oil Collection, which is our oil serum, cleanser, and serum oil.
Awesome.
Love it. That duo is amazing. And that's it.
Are you using the Quench Cleanse, or is that your cleanser and skin therapy, or do you like the Sudsy one?
I started off with Dream Clean, the Sudsy one, and I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Quench Cleanse works better for my skin type, and so I feel like my face is a little bit more moisturized with Quench Cleanse than it is with Dream Clean. So I use Quench Cleanse, and I do love it a lot. I just have to remember to exfoliate.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, you saw it. I'm signing off now. That was amazing. I went live on my main page so that people could see you that might have forgotten that you were coming on. So I had probably 20 people on watching you. You know, they would come and go. So thank you, because this was incredible. And it was such a simple look with very few products. And that's what we love to do. But just so you know, everybody, and I'm going to just kind of, let me go back to our main screen here.
Thank you, Cynthia.
You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. So if you'll mute yourself, if you're unmuted, if you have any questions, I'm going to cancel Spotlight so that we can all be together. And so I like to tell everybody, because so many people watch the playback, that if you are interested in purchasing product, there are many ways to shop. The best way to shop is to obviously buy our kit. It allows you to be a beauty guide. We used to only have a $169, so it would be like $200 to join. And now we have a beautiful $99 kit with all of our bestsellers, our setting sprays, that white powder, our cleanser, our moisturizer. It's just a great starter kit. And that's really for people who want to get their products at a discount and share with a handful of family and friends. And then you'll end up getting all your products for free. But we do have what I call like a beauty insider, somebody who just loves the products and just really wants to get the best price. And then we have that girl who comes in, and I will tell you 90% of the women who find this business, and I'm sure Ashlyn would say the same thing, they don't realize how easy it is. You know, they don't realize that it's something they're going to enjoy, because it does. You know, I love listening to Ashlyn because she's grown. Like, she's not the person she was in her 20s. She's going into her 30s with all this newfound confidence. And that is why I've been doing this for 30 years, is to help women find themselves and to help women step into something they didn't know was waiting for them. So get with your beauty guide. We also have samples. Sunday, I really want to give away that lipstick that you're wearing. That was my gift. So we got to get 10 guests on here, and I will give away this gorgeous lipstick, the Happy, that everybody should be wearing and buying. If you do not get it as a gift, definitely buy yourself one. We have samples. If you've not tried the products, let us send you samples. Everything is happiness guaranteed. I've never seen a company that actually allows you to send anything back. Colors, you know, if you're not happy, they want the product back. And it's such an easy return. And I've never had anything returned. And I tell my clients all the time, if you don't love it, send it back, because our company wants you to be happy. So I hope you guys, I've been doing makeup for 30 years, and I think I just learned like 20 new things. So thank you, Ashlyn. That was incredible. And I know you're going to have a ton of playback watchers. So whoever invited you to watch this, if you will go back to that person, this is all set up on my YouTube channel. So you can go to Blair Billings, and Ashlyn's done a couple others. So you can watch her as she's progressed in her makeup. And I love what she said. She watches, and she just tries to up her own game every time she is, you know, doing a live. Most of us never knew we'd be doing lives, and we enjoy it because we know we're learning, and then we're helping others to learn too. So thank you, Ashlyn, for doing this. Sunday's Beauty on a Budget is going to be amazing. It's Nancy Wetstein, and she's done several, and she's just amazing. She's a woman who is in her 50s, and she's going to show some crazy tricks. So you'll see me post that. We also have something fun we're doing called Beauty Bingo, where you can join us at the end of the month. If you do really want to win prizes, everybody's going to win. So you might want to join us for that and bring a few friends. But again, thank you so much for joining us live or watching the playback. We absolutely love bringing this to as many women as we can. If you have any questions, get with your beauty guide and just see the most convenient way that you want to shop with us, because we would love to have you as a client, or we would love for you to enjoy these products and share them with family and friends. So happy Wednesday, everyone. We'll see you Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with Nancy, and looking forward to it. Again, thanks to Ashlyn for all of her awesome tips and tricks. You guys have an amazing night, and we will see you again soon. Bye, everybody.